we were curious because we've seen you've been working quite a lot in TV series before doing your first feature, because it's your first feature. And
Yes.
usually it's more the other way around. Like you start with a feature film and then you go to TV series. So we wanted to know why for you it was important to have this project more as a feature film and not as a TV series, and how you start with TV going to that project.
Actually, at the moment, I think what happened was that I've been working with Danish radio broadcast while I was in film school, and I have a big love for TV series. You know, some of my most cinematic experiences through the last couple of years has been with TV series as well. I think those two actually right now can compare in a lot of ways, more than they used to. And I think what I'm interested in is overall just story and characters. And if a TV series can provide that, I'm just as intrigued by those stories that are just longer format. So I don't really, in a way, differ. I mean, it really depends on the project, really. But I had the major opportunity to be offered, you know, the final episodes of a TV series back in Denmark while I was just out film school, which was pretty insane because I didn't have anything to like as evidence, you know, that I could actually, that I was, you know, that I could handle, you know, that responsibility. So it was just, you know, a major leap in faith for the producers at Danish radio at that time to give me those episodes. The season finale actually. So I think that was the reason. And while I did that, we were still developing on Shorta, which has been in like development for a very long time at that moment. So everything kind of just clicked in a way. I'm in London doing a TV series now actually.
And how do you work together with Frederik?
Frederik and I had been, you know, we've been talking about doing something together for a long time, and had talked about doing, you know, talked about various ideas. And then sort of by happenstance, I mentioned that I was working on this other project. Yeah. And we started talking about the possibilities and how we saw the film. And there was a lot of sort of overlap of how we sort of saw the film. Initially, we both had this notion of the film being shot in black and white. I think probably because of Lane, which is a huge inspiration. We ended up not doing that, but there was just a lot of striking similarities in how we saw the film and what we thought the film could be and should be. And so I decided to go back to Toolbox and say, listen, I know we have this other director, but I actually, you know, I really want to do this myself. Yeah. With Frederik. And, you know, to our surprise and to, you know, Toolbox's credit, they said, you know, we're fully on board, and we had all their support. And then we started working on the script together, and the basic story was there fairly early on, the basic movements of the film. So it was more, a lot of the work had to do with working within those confines, really sort of honing the scenes and the turning points and the characters, and talking about, you know, what does this character want? What does this, you know, and really trying to get all those nuances in and all the subtleties that hopefully is there. Also because this is sort of a subgenre, you know, the cop film is sort of a subgenre with a lot of different sort of tropes or archetypes. And so, and we really sort of
cliché and references, so it's very difficult.
And it's a subgenre that we love. We love the aesthetics. We love the themes that you can wrestle with, but we also wanted to sort of subvert expectations and, you know, and sort of surprise people in terms of where the characters go and where the story goes. So it was mostly actually a character, working up with the characters?
I think it's all about talking about everything, and that's kind of what we did. We decided that we wanted a long pre-production. We had I think we sat down 2 months before actual pre-production took place and just went through everything, you know, every little line, every little piece of stage direction. Everything was just meticulously pulled apart and put back together. So to figure out what it was that was essential for everything. And I think that was a very nice way of doing it, in terms of we figured out what it was that we wanted exactly to have out of that line, or why he should drink that cup of coffee, or why he should walk down the aisle in that way. So everything was just planned. And it's not to say that we took everything of that, all of our plans, and put them into the film. It was just like Anders and I, we needed to have a game plan. So when the actors said, why am I doing this? Then Anders and I said, okay, we made this huge book. And then we could refer to our plans that we did months ago, where we had time to contemplate, really, because you never have that on set. You don't have time for Anders and I to go away and say, okay, then let's figure this out. We don't have time for that. So we needed to have done all of that before. Yeah, so I mean, that was a big part of the directing part of it. We did that also with the visuals, in terms of how we saw the scene, where we wanted to put our cameras, where we wanted to put our lights. We storyboarded it. So we had all of the blockings of the scenes prepared before we went on set. So everything was just like super prepared. And I think that's a way of doing it. I'm a huge prepper myself when it comes to making films. And I think it's, especially when you're two, you need to have a battle plan, because that battle plan also allows you to use your intuitiveness, which also is a valuable tool as a director. And Anders and I, we're good friends, and we had a battle plan, and we trust each other. And I think that's also a part of it. You need to, if you do this. So if Anders said, I really feel about doing something, and I cannot really explain why, but this feels right, then I would have to let him go with it, because I think that's a major part of doing it, and the other way around as well.
We were really surprised because we presented 8 minutes of your film in Les Arcs, and we were impressed by the quality of the editing. Even the sound at this time was starting to be really good. And it was an action film, but I was really, really surprised to see the film to be with a lot of empathy, a film from the point of view of the police, which is really good. And the fact it was presented at the Critics Week in Venice is also says something in terms of stamp of you as an author. So my question is, to go to my question, say, why did you want to make a film from the point of view of the policeman?
Well, it was kind of built into the basic idea of the film, but also we really wanted to sort of, we were very interested in making a film that was very subjective and very sort of restricted in its visual style, and we were very cognizant of our budgetary restraints and had them work in our favor. So we looked at a lot of films that weren't genre films. A huge inspiration was Son of Saul, which is very sort of restricted in how much information actually gets,
and immersive,
and how much the audience is able to sort of conjure up on their own. And it's very much about things being peripheral. It's very much about sound design, which Shorta is very much about sound design, and sort of really creating a world within the sort of peripherals.
Exactly.
And then also, I think circling back to Walter Hill, I was very interested in Denmark. We have, because we come from a sort of very social realistic tradition, we're very sort of focused on, you know, characters, knowing everything about the characters. And I thought what Walter Hill does in a lot of his films, at least certainly his older films, is you don't get a lot of information about the characters. If you look at a film like Alien, which he rewrote, he's not credited, but he did.
It's not very psychological. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he did write. You don't know anything about the characters. I mean, you get some information about them through their interactions with each other. It's very grounded. It's very sort of, they have these almost, you know, they have these talks about, you know, overtime, and you kind of feel, you kind of get to know the characters through their actions. And I thought that was very interesting. And I thought that's how I wanted to make the film. I wanted to make the
exactly.
I talked a lot about this. We wanted to make a film where you get to know people through their actions, not by, you know, but where do they go to school? What about their parents? You know, what about what happened 10 years ago? No, you meet them within these confines, you know, interacting with all these people, and Amos as well. You don't really get a lot of information about him. You get more information about him than most of the other characters, but still. So that was kind of like very appealing to the both of us.
Anders and I had a long time interest for those types of subcultures in film. It is a kind of a subgenre in itself, cop film, and I think a lot of the films that we've been watching growing up was, you know, those types of films. And Denmark doesn't have a tradition, so to say, in making these genre films. And we kind of wanted to have our cop film in a way, our police film, where we could dive into the characters of, you know, the police characters, the work, and make it an authentic, believable setting for a film that we thought should have something to say, and should be wanting something out of its audience.
And Shorta, what does it mean? Just for the audience to remind what is Shorta and what is Shorta? Why this title?
It's Arabic, and it means police. And but it's also a term that's used a lot in sort of Danish rap music.
Like a slang. Yeah.
There's a lot of rappers and artists with you know, with a Arabic background who use that term, and I also thought that it had a nice sort of a duality about.
Yeah. What do you think about, because there is many very good European filmmakers, they are making film or series in the US. Will you be okay for that? And coming back to Denmark, is this something you could accept if you have a proposition from, you know, from a series in the US?
Right now, I'm very interested in doing this type of film. You know, telling these types of stories, making genre films with a sort of cultural bent to it. And also sort of hopefully some thematic substance to it, and making them here in Denmark. And I think I will probably always get back here, but at some point I would, you know, it is a dream of mine, and I think of Frederik's definitely as well. So we really want to do it, but I really want to keep making films here. We're very privileged in a lot of ways here in Denmark as well. We're not beholden to a lot of, you know, we have Final Cut on our films, and
yes,
a lot more control. And so, and it's not necessarily sort of the commercial aspects of making movies that's the governing element. So, but at some point I would love to try it.
Are you already working on your next projects, and are some of those projects you with also Anders as co-director?
I don't have any other projects with Anders as a co-director, but Anders and I are working together right now on a TV series. I have a feature film project that I want to do with him as well. We just have to figure out the schedules at the moment, but yes. And then I have another feature film in development in Copenhagen, not with him, unfortunately. And then I'm here in London right now doing a TV series at the moment.
Super, Anders. Thank you so much for this Q&A.
Thank you.
I really hope you're gonna ski with us next year.
Yeah, hopefully. I've never skied in my life, so yeah,
it's good time.
It perfect to to do it at Les Arcs. But I'm looking forward to coming back. It was really just a great experience being there.
Yes, I know. It was great. Super. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye. Bye.